Hello, my name is Nima Rasa and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about food and cooking and health in general. If you're not raw eater, you eat cooked food. Either you're cooking it yourself or somebody's cooking for you. So when you talk about somebody cooking for you, it means you're ordering food outside your home. And so cooking plays an important role in our lives. And I believe that cooking is an art. You know, you can take the same rice and cook it differently. So cooking is an art. And in this day and age, cooking has been looked down as a slavery or a burden. But it's not. I believe cooking is an art and also it's a science and also it's a gift from God that God has given unto us to nourish our bodies. Before we jump into cooking, why do we eat? So let's go back to the foundations. Why do we eat? Do we eat to just satisfy ourselves, or do we eat to nourish our bodies? Do we eat just because I'm hungry? Knowing the purpose why you eat lays a good foundation to what you're going to eat. So if you're eating because you're hungry, you eat anything to fill up your stomach. But if you're having a purpose to why you're eating, maybe to nourish your body with nutrients, you actually be very careful to choose what you eat. So laying that as a foundation, let's go to the cooking. So we cook different foods according to different continents with different backgrounds and different cultures. All this define our cookings. Now, if we try to interlink between the reason why we eat and cooking, we will be very careful how we cook. There are foods like vegetables that are very delicate. When we cook them too much, they lose the nutrients, and that means we eat food that have lost a lot of nutrients. So when it comes to cook, we have to be very, very careful to preserve those nutrients that we need for our bodies. So when it comes to eating good food or good cooking that we can do in our kitchen, let's remember that when we eat food, let it be to sustain life, to nourish our brains, our bones and muscles. If we do not give our bodies good food that are full of nutrients and energy, it will deprive our bodies and our bodies become weak. I'm sure you've heard the statement, you are what you eat. If you eat junk food that are empty calories, your body will be full of empty calories. We have to use less oil. We have to try to limit our salt intake and also try to have food that are high in fiber, food that are less protein. I'll talk more in my future videos. So we have to eat as much food close to the nature as much as possible. A good example would be when we try to cook our vegetables, make sure we make it more crunchy. There's like greenish in our vegetables. That way we have preserved at least 80% of the nutrients. So cooking is an important skill that I think you and I need to have. So when you prepare food, make sure that the food has its nutrients, and make sure you're building up that body that God has given unto you. And when you prepare food, remember that the food that you're going to eat is either going to nourish your bones, muscles and brain, or it's going to cause illness. So how is it going to cause illness? The food that we eat is going to get digested. Well, some of it, carbohydrates, is going to be digested in the mouth, and the proteins are going to be digested in the stomach, and the rest of the nutrients are going to be digested in the intestine. So, and that food is going to be turned into blood. and energy and so on and so forth. But if we don't get enough nutrients, then that means our body is lacking something, and there'll be a deficiency of a certain nutrient, and it's gonna cause a problem in our body. So for example, let's say you decide to eat a white bread or white chapati or white rice. White rice is refined, and most of the nutrients are out. So one of the problems of white rice is there's no vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 or thiamine is the one that helps with the digestion of the food. So if there's no vitamin B1 in the food, and that vitamin B1 is very important for the digestion, if it cannot be found in the food, it means the body has to find it somewhere else in our body, so the bones or the kidney. So that will cause a problem. So the body will have to take that vitamin B1 on our bones and help to digest the food that we've eaten. And that means there'll be a deficiency of vitamin B1 in the place that the body took. So it's very important that we make sure that we eat good food full of nutrients, that we may be able to not cause illness to ourselves. And can I talk to the ladies, please? Ladies, because I would say most of the time ladies are the one who are responsible to cook food. Even men should know how to cook food, but naturally women are kind of responsible for making food. And for a lady who does not know how to make good food that's full of nutrients, you're killing your family, because the life of your family is in your hands. The food that you prepare, if has no nutrients or very few nutrients, very little nutrients, that means that the body will become deficient in a lot of things. So most of the nutrients are found in the fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So yeah, going back to the white rice and refined carbohydrates, we find that it also, when it's converted into the energy, it raises our blood sugar very quickly, and then all of a sudden the blood sugar, the pancreas sends insulin to regulate the blood sugar, and it drops really low. So that's the problems of having refined carbohydrates. So we advise to have wholesome carbohydrates, grains, potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats, and many more options that we have that will retain the fiber, because most of the refined carbohydrates, there's no fiber in it. So, and the fiber is the one that kind of helps with the sugars, the blood sugars. With the whole grain, because they have fiber in it, so the fiber regulates the blood sugar into the bloodstream. So it's very important that when we prepare food, we have to make sure that those food that we're going to eat is going to nourish our bodies and also our brain and muscles, and give us good health. We are accountable for our own health. In the day of judgment, we'll stand before God, and He'll ask us why we haven't been able to take care of our bodies. He has provided us with all the resources that He has, the sun and the waters and the fresh air to produce good food, and we're killing ourselves. So my advice to you is that take time to learn how to cook. There are a lot of journals these days. There's a lot of recipes. You don't even have to have a journal. You can find recipes on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. It's everywhere on the internet. You can find a lot of healthy recipes that will help you on your journey to become healthier. And also take time to prepare. If you fail to prepare, you fail to cook good food. So you have to make sure you have the right kind of ingredients to help you prepare good food. Set time to cook. I know it's in a very busy world that we live in. Sometimes we don't get time to cook, so we rush and just eat a lot of junk. So let's take time to cook. If you're busy on the weekdays, you can just prepare food on Sundays, maybe on the weekend, and so that you could help pack food at least on the weekdays. You can warm up the food and you can eat them rather than not sorry, rather than just because you haven't prepared anything and you're hungry, so you just quickly rush to any food that you see you can easily get. So yeah, I hope that you have learned something today. My questions to ladies, as I said, we're killing our families with the way we prepare our food. Our food have less nutrients, and they're not helping our bodies, they're not helping our family members, whether you're married or not. Your families, you have families, so let's do our best, take time to learn. You can pray about it and ask God to help you, give you skills, because He has promised to give us skills on how to make good food. So God bless you guys.